So what's happening, Brianna?
I
What's
just
going on?
staying busy and running our business while you play the stock market.
So what do you think about Tesla?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I I was saying today how I think Model Y is gonna be taking over. I think that it's a really good option for people, and we're starting to see more of them. So I think that that's gonna be slowly replacing a lot of other vehicles of that size, and it's affordable. And
Would you
so,
buy it?
I mean,
Because you got what? S, X, and 3.
yeah. So, I mean, if we're gonna talk about that, I love the Model X. That's my car. That's the only regret I have is that it was our first one, and we bought the 200 whatever miles, and
75D,
that
yeah.
it makes a difference. It really does. So that's the only complaint. Outside of that, I mean, hands down, that's my favorite car. We have the Model S with the rear-facing seats, and there's just a lot of things that are not practical. It's nice because we can fit our big family in that, but the air circulation doesn't go back there, and those kind of things. So it's a little bit of a challenge. But I Model 3, I think is a good car for running around. It's not our most comfortable vehicle, but it's the one we end up having to take the most just because of the range when we are traveling. So yeah, I mean, I would think that I would like to trade in the 3 for a Y with the third row seating as a family vehicle. I like what I've seen. I'm a little bit more impressed with the Cybertruck idea. We need a bigger vehicle that we can fit more of
So
us
you
in.
think Model Y is a hit and it's being
Yeah,
sold pretty well?
it's great for middle class, families that are needing a reliable vehicle but need to be able to fit everyone. And I think that is it's appealing to people. So yeah, um, I am. I don't know. I mean, I guess I just I don't really see Tesla as a gimmick, or not a gimmick, but like a hipster car anymore. It's becoming more of a
Mainstream.
mainstream. So I mean, there's just most of the time I get tired of talking about Tesla
Why is that?
because I don't think I've gone. Oh my gosh,
What happened?
Mark B. Spiegel, not a gimmick, it's a fraud. Very interesting. We were talking about you not too long back, and
If this is Mark B. Spiegel, you don't know
what
what this
you no,
Mark.
I believe it is. And what your opinions were about something, and I don't always disagree with him. I don't, he's, but it's um I don't think it's a fraud. I mean, I drive one. It's a legitimate vehicle. It's not a figment of the imagination. But I do think that it is becoming more of a mainstay, and we're seeing more every day. And it's not uncommon now where we're at a four-way stop, and we're in an area that is not heavily populated with EVs.
It is
So,
getting pretty populated with EVs. So
but we were talking today, in all fairness, about the difference between the Porsche and the Tesla. And I was saying, as far as quality, Porsche has Tesla beat. But as far as technology, they don't. And so I guess, that's where.
So what do you think about Tesla stock? Did you see
Oh
the
my
stock
God.
price?
I mean, I see it, and
$521.85. Intraday high was 526. For after hours, it's at 523. Where do you think it's headed?
I I'll say this again. I think that that is highly contingent upon Elon Musk and his liability. So, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, but it just really depends on if he can behave himself for the next few weeks.
What do you think he could do to sabotage the stock?
Any number of things. What has he done historically? I mean, just pissing off the SEC, um, making some announcement before an announcement shouldn't come out, making some statement, smoking marijuana on TV, running around without a COVID mask, announcing that, who knows? I mean, it's like,
Okay, so
but what could he, and that is unfortunately, like, if we're worrying about, well, what's going to happen with Apple, I'm not ever sitting here saying, well, what is Tim Cook going to do? No, I mean, that's just like, I mean, that's unheard of. The guy is a class act. It's not going to
okay,
happen.
Tim Cook is not a founder; he's a
Okay,
CEO.
but he's,
And
but I didn't
Elon
have
Musk is
this, I didn't,
magnitudes of richer than Tim Cook ever will be.
but he's not as good a leader.
Oh, I think he's a much better leader than
He's
Tim
not
Cook.
a good leader. He's a visionary. He's a
Oh,
revolutionary.
he's an amazing leader. Look at all the revenues that Tesla is
But the revenues have
grabbing.
nothing to do with somebody's ability to lead. I mean,
So you're trying to
like
tell me the guy who sends rockets into space, lands them on a space on a barge in the
a
middle of the ocean,
visionary does not make
who
a
executes,
leader.
who executes
But
on
that
his
just means
vision.
he's competent. That doesn't mean he leads. I mean, okay, was Stalin a good leader? I mean, it's
Can't
like he
believe.
was competent. I mean, was Napoleon?
Yeah.
Napoleon was brilliant, a military strategist. Does that mean that he had the? I mean, does that mean he was not a narcissist? I mean, it
No,
doesn't.
Elon Musk is. I mean, I can say we can say that.
I can't. I mean,
We
technically,
don't know the guy.
can't use these terms because of
Yeah,
our profession.
yeah.
We're
Can
not allowed
plus.
to. But
Yeah,
I
you can say. I
I
mean,
can
unless you.
speak to his. I do not think he is of the same cloth as Tim Cook when it comes
Okay, all right.
to.
Let's concede you that. So, looking at the stock price, I'm super excited that it has made a seminal change in character today. So the stock started growing up last week, but the beautiful thing, let me pull it up so you can take a quick look at this. So the seminal thing is that it has broken out of a range. So do you see this consolidation? So the prior high was $502 and today on higher volume. Now, admittedly, one thing that concerns me a little bit, the volume is not as high as I thought it would be, especially from morning trading. So today the volume increase is only 3%. So it's breaking out, but breaking out not with that much conviction, which you could make a flip argument for that. The fact that the volume is not that huge means there's a whole lot more potential buying that could come between
No, I mean
this and December
it's the
21st.
holiday season, so I mean let's factor in that.
Oh, yeah,
People
it's
are
a
gonna-
Thanksgiving week. I forgot about that.
People
Yeah.
are going.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
need to look at this. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Right.
People are going to cut back on their spending. That's the bottom line. So you've got to account for that. I mean, there's Christmas, there's holidays, there's people. I mean, there's a reasonable risk of a shutdown, and so I mean, I'm a little bit. I, I mean, there's this end of year expenses. There's things coming up that might sway people's buying.
That's a great point. I never thought about the year-end expenses, but usually, holiday season is a good season, and Tesla is doing great. But there could be a macro downturn, and the stock could go down the
Well,
tube.
I mean,
It will
I don't
not right
know.
now.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it
not for
could
the
go
next month.
sideways. days. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm optimistic. I mean, it's but the way I always think about it is there's a lot more to life than Tesla, and there's a
Oh, not
lot
for me,
more.
not for the next 1 month.
There's a lot more to life than this, and I think that there's some other things out there that are noteworthy, and I think that it's just it's smart to look at options.
But I'm super excited about Tesla. I think
I've been
Tesla,
hearing this since the day we got together, so I mean it. um,
the most
I
exciting.
could replay this conversation 2 years ago, and it probably was the same conversation as
My
this,
gosh,
just
did
different
you
building,
did you
different
see
place.
this yearly chart? Take a look at the yearly chart. The stock is a 523% year to date. It
Okay, so
so that's a phenomenal chart.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I mean,
But
I feel like
I think today was a seminal day. It was a turning point for the stock because the stock. No, I really mean it. I'm not kidding. And the reason why I think it was a major turnaround day for the stock is it demonstrated an ability to break out of a 11-week range. The stock had been going sideways since September 1st or August 31st. So for the last 2.5 months, or a little over that, it had been going sideways. Excuse me. It is breaking out on an increased volume, and the volume is not super high. So I think it's gonna rally big time for the next 4 weeks or so. I mean, that's just a guess. It could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but based on S&P 500 inclusion. Then the other thing I'm super excited about is the moving averages are straight up. This is pretty reminiscent of what happened last holiday season. So the stock took off around this time in November, and then it was up and sideways for rest of November and middle of December. Then it took off into February 4th. I think this time is going to be a little bit more compressed, but the action is going to be equally explosive.
okay.
And I mean, that's what I think
Training.
is a means to get financial freedom to do not just high value. But trading is a means to get financial freedom to do what I really want to do personally is trade and make
Well,
more
I mean, that is
money
what you
instead.
do.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
I mean, it is, but I mean, at the same time, I have a lot of respect for my day job, and I think that I'll be glad when things kind of settle down so I can get you back to yours. So,
well, I mean, day job is great. It's always good to have a day job because you have like last 3 months was a bad, terrible action. The stock was going sideways, and the only way you could have made money in the stock was if you were trading at the low end of the range and selling it at the high end of the range. Right now, I think it's about to go parabolic. I mean, it's probably not going to go parabolic tomorrow, or it could go parabolic tomorrow. I think the action is going to be pretty compressed, and it's going to be compressed over a short time frame. I would be super nervous about market and Tesla going into the new year 2021. I could very well be wrong, but what Tesla has demonstrated recently is it does not, and this is not an original point. I mean, I've been watching YouTube videos, and other people have made this point much better than I do. Tesla has not responded favorably to fundamental catalysts that we were expecting, like Battery Day and earnings report and things like that. It has actually responded much better to stock related events like stock split and now S&P 500 inclusion. So those things, they don't usually last and they're relatively ephemeral, but you can make a ton of money. But then,
okay.
watch out below. Could Elon do a stock issuance to the S&P? That's my big fear. I think Elon
Right.
Musk could bear with me. If you don't want to be in this video, you can do your
Well, the
work.
last time I
Yeah.
was not in a video, some skank left a bunch of comments
So,
from
anyway, so
some bots.
let me. So, could they do a S&P 500 equity raise? I think it would be foolish for Tesla and Elon not to do a secondary. I mean, imagine if the stock goes to like 750, 800, 900, and as I personally expected to hit $960 in the most bullish scenario. Don't take this as an advice. It's just my personal opinion, and I'm more wrong than I'm right, or equally wrong I'm right, or whatever percentage. I don't know. Uh, so what? Imagine if you are Tesla, why would you not do a secondary? If you can sell a small percentage of your company with a very little dilution at sky high stock prices, and then you can like bank another 5 to 10 billion dollars and use it to increase your business. That's why I think that I believe that Tesla is a good demonstration of George Soros's theory of reflexivity. So, theory of reflexivity is that in a market where there are thinking participants, just the change in the value of an equity or a trading vehicle can actually influence either in a positive or negative way the underlying fundamentals of the company, and thereby set up a vicious or a virtuous or a vicious cycle. So for example, Tesla stock going starts going up, more and more people are compelled to buy. They don't want to be on the sidelines. S&P 500 inclusion, stock keeps on going up. It becomes a virtuous cycle. It goes parabolic. Excuse me. And then Tesla raises equity, and that improves the fundamentals of the company. Not that it needs to.
Okay.
So therefore,
Getting a little warm.
well, all right. So well, don't be so dismissive of this, because this is probably making a ton of money for you, which you don't know and don't seem to care. But anyway, all right. Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you.